Okay, so greetings and aloha. What's going on? It's Mike's from LiveMyAssOff.com. Happy Sunday morning from the Big Mango. And what I'm doing right now, which I hope you'll join me in the process of, is basically using and testing the what I affectionately call the mobile broadcast studio, which is simply my laptop, the Logitech USB cam, the $8 microphone, and the free sound card, and the $167 laptop. So, Missy, great to see you. Thanks a lot for coming by. With any luck, this will be, well, I know this will end at 9 a.m. I know that for sure, because my buddy Jeremy with Do More Life, he's doing his live stream this morning at 9:15 from here in the Big Mango. But that's awesome, Missy. Thanks a lot for coming by. This wasn't scheduled. Hey, Todd, good to see you, man. And thanks again for the email. The great thing about Todd, Tony T, what's going on, dude? How are you, man? My buddy from San Diego. How long have we known each other? 26 years, 25 years, something like that. I think I only had 2 when you showed up. So 26 years, isn't that crazy? Missy, I've known for 48 years. Whew. How you doing there, old man? Chip, good to see you. Oh my God, Chip is so cool. Chip was one of my, we worked on a lot of projects together. Chip was the engineer at KFMB. And you guys want to know what moo cow moo means? I had to come up with a password like that, and I really couldn't think of anything. So literally, that was the password for all of the workstations at our radio station for administrator, like to get in and do everything. So if you ever want to hire me to do IT security, pass. Gotta love time. Good to see you, Dave. So, Dave, one of the things I'm doing right now, actually, is I'm testing out the mobile broadcast studio. This will be actually, I'm going to bring this down to Phuket. I'm going to have this microphone. Also, what I got in the mail the other day, which I'm really stoked about, is the Dead Cat. And basically, it's not a, many people will buy a Boya, kind of a mini shotgun mic. But this one is made by Andor. Andor has some really, really great high-quality products on Lazada. They get here quickly, and the cool part is I got this because one of you guys accurately labeled my outdoor live streams as windy. The other neat thing, a lot of the other ones, like if you get the Rode microphone, a lot of them don't come with a, well, many of them actually do come with a tip ring sleeve to tip ring sleeve. Chip's going to appreciate this. Tip ring sleeve to tip ring sleeve, but they don't come with the tip ring sleeve to tip ring sleeve, which a lot of laptops basically will do. Hey, Brian, good to see you, man. I haven't seen you in a while. That's awesome. What's up, Carl? So much is up, you guys. So much is up. I'm challenged with actually like looking at the screen and then looking at you and then looking at the screen, looking at you. So I may have to lower that a little bit just so it's a little bit closer to the laptop. So I'm not staring down all the time because it's, I don't know, it's a little unprofessional, I guess. If my streams could in fact be labeled as professional ever, because of course, you know, this is definitely how I prepped for this. Right, Chip? Always doing it ahead of time, huh, buddy? When should we plan the broadcast? During the broadcast. No. Always do it ahead of time. She needs to shave that a bit and clean things up. Clearly. Yeah, absolutely. Hello and good day from the service of the sun. 10 straight, 105 plus days. Daniel, good to see you. And Daniel, I think I saw a message from you come in. I only saw like the first sentence of it because I was trying to upload a new thumbnail. But I believe you said you didn't get notified of yesterday's live stream. I'm really sorry about that, but that happens constantly. Coffee time indeed, Caesar. Good morning with my 3-in-1. Hey, so you guys remember the stream yesterday? And Kenneth came by? And every time he not every time, but close to every time he commented, he like did a super chat. I did the conversion of all of them, and again, this is before YouTube takes their cut. But in total, he gave the channel over $86, like just over 86 US dollars when I convert the Norway kroner, right? blew me away. Absolutely blew me away. I told Gracie I'm all excited, that sort of thing. So I'm like, oh, this is great. Because what you don't realize, okay, let's say for the sake of argument, they take 50%, which they don't. They take less than that. But for the sake of argument, let's say that ended up being $60. Okay, for $60, I am going to go to I'm going to go to Phuket and let's see. I'm going to get down there for $30 because I wasn't able to use my pass to get down there. And then my cab, my taxi from the airport to Kamala is going to be 400 baht. So basically $12, $13. And then my hotel is about $32 a night. So like to get to Phuket on a plane and take a taxi to the beach to stay in my hotel for the first day, totally covered by Kenneth. And dude, so if you're listening or if you come back or you're listening to the restream of this, dude, thank you just so much. That's fantastic. Carl says, Michael, love to hear about your business visa there. I thought you were on a retirement visa. You couldn't transition. So I am on a retirement visa. And I can transition for sure. And it's just a change in visa. And so I'm debating on whether to apply for actually, I'm probably going to apply for this regardless, which is the Smart Visa and the S version. There's 4 versions of the Smart Visa. You can just Google it. There's an entire website dedicated to Smart Visa Thailand. And there's 4 different categories. One of them is like entrepreneur, right? So if you come here or investor, for example. So if you come here and you put 20 million baht into a bank account or into investment or something like that, then they give you a visa that lasts up to potentially like 5 years. And the idea behind it is that you're going to be an investor, you're going to be an entrepreneur. And obviously I'm an entrepreneur, as is my business partner. We have a startup, and so I would be in the S category. With that, will allow me to have a Smart Visa for 1 year and have a work permit. The work permit is actually attached to the Smart Visa. It's not a separate thing you need to get. So anyway, and you don't need to have any money in the bank, but you need to give them a pitch deck, basically, to say, look, this is my startup, and this is what I'm trying to accomplish. Now, the easiest thing to do is you just get a 6-month visa with that. And that you can do, and then you can potentially transition into a 1-year visa. You can also get a 2-year visa under the S category for startup, and that involves putting 600,000 baht into a bank account as part of the sort of funding of the business, and you have to start a Thai business in year 2. It takes about, she said, 30 working days to basically get that approved. And I went through a webinar and asked a bunch of questions, and she was great. So Daniel says, okay, disregard the nasty gram. I left you on one of your other Facebook posts. I frequently do, Daniel. I don't know why you seem to get disappointed on Facebook publicly, but if I were in the climate of the United States, I suppose I would be a little bit prickly. So anyway, hopefully you're comfortable in your own skin at the moment. And yeah, Caesar, I'm going to cruise down to Phuket. It's on that Air Asia Unlimited thing. I'm getting down there I'm getting down there on Thai Viet Jet. Mentioned that yesterday. And it's like, I think with everything, it's like 1,100 baht because the ticket is 529 baht. The taxes are 500 baht. And then there's like some other additional thing that I have to do. So anyway, Brian says to Todd, yeah, losing my mind, but hopefully it will pass. How about you? Yeah, I know it's again, I mentioned yesterday, and same thing. So many of my friends are just like, dude, we're so glad you're not here. And I mean, I really appreciate that, and I'm honored that other people care about me and my feelings and that sort of thing. But man, I really feel for you guys that are there, because I mean, again, this channel, obviously, I'm in Thailand, and I've been coming to Thailand, and I talk about Thailand, and anyway, so it's obviously something that we all love, and the inability to get here. Now, to be fair, I don't think many of you would come here in July anyway, the infamous low season. However, the lack of ability to get here, or at least book tickets and plan your life, come like the holiday season, if you will, that totally would bother me. I mean, that's lame. So, Todd says to Brian, I'll know in about 4 to 6 weeks when and if I'm approved for the Thai Elite visa. I'll tell you what, dude, as long as you have the cash, I don't see any reason why. I mean, obviously, if you don't have a criminal record, right? But I don't know why they would deny you because, I mean, all it is cash for them. It's just like totally awesome. Carl says, did you check out Wrecked videos to see the onslaught of Karens there? No, I didn't bother. I figured all it would do is bum me out, quite frankly. Daniel says, I'm a work in progress. If I make it 2 more days, 1 year, 7 months. You absolutely will make it. You absolutely will make it, dude. You did it 2 days ago, so you know how to get 2 more days. So congratulations, man. Focus on the prize. I saw down there that Caesar mentioned that Serena had 2 really cool videos in 4K, I think, actually, of the beaches of Phuket. And her videos are really great. She's kind of like a crazy, sort of eccentric, if you will, lady boy down in Thailand. But I can't remember who it was. It was either me or Caesar, but we shared it with each other, and her video quality is pretty decent. So I like watching her stuff, and I'm totally stoked to get down there. So Robert says, hi friend, I'm going to Colorado to do a Lakota Sundance, 10 days of prayer. I'm going to pray to get back to Thailand soon. Good for you, dude. Absolutely. That's great, Robert. Todd says they check mostly if you're blacklisted or not in Thailand already. Yeah, so there you go, man. You're set. You getting the 5-year one, 10-year, or 20? That's exciting, man. Actually pretty funny, but not a bummer at all. Now, I put the comments up here, and when I started doing videos, that was actually kind of okay, and I could keep up fairly well. The other nice thing is I like the fact that you guys, much like the other ones, you're able to see, the YouTube chat, but you're also able to see the Facebook chat, right? So we can see when Missy gets here, or Teresa, or that sort of thing. So those are cool, but a lot of times it kind of goes by too fast. I may need to make the text smaller so I can read them easier or whatever, but Todd says the 5-year is cheaper than keeping 800,000 baht in the bank, and no worries about the immigration office after year. Yeah. Brian says to Robert, do me a favor, toss in a Hail Mary for me while you're at it. Yeah, get Brian out of New York, dude. Get him back over here to Chiang Mai. Carl says to Robert, can't wait to see Rat Dog again. That's really awesome, man. I'm really psyched that you're getting the... trust me, I considered that too. Because effectively, the 800,000, if I do that for an OA or, an OA extension or an O, right, then that 800,000 basically, as we all know, just sits in the bank. Excuse me. And, you can't do anything with it, right? And that's actually, I posted a question to the Bangkok expats group on Facebook that I'm on, saying, hey, so for this 800,000 baht, do you guys know of any accounts that I can put it in? I mean, someone, says, oh yeah, you can always get 3% of that in a savings account, and of course, completely wrong, so I was like, well, what have you guys found out? And the good news is that, because I'm not a big fan of rumor, I'm more of a fan of data and fact. Todd says my spouse is going next week to Thailand. Dude, that's fantastic. Gotta Love says, when are you leaving for Kamala? So tomorrow morning, my flight's at 7:30, I think. Thai Vietjet down there. I get there about 9:30. And my taxi's scheduled for about 9:30. I should be in Kamala at about, I would say before lunch. Probably if I can get there by 11:30, that'll be great. And Rob will still be asleep. So, Todd, that's outstanding, man. Good for you. So you got her coming here, and then you're going to be getting your visa. Oh, man. I mean, that's like a bonus plan. Good for you, man. That's a killer plan. I'm honored. I can't wait to hear more about it. I really want to hear the experience, actually. So there's another guy. Let me see if I can think of his video channel. That's horrible that I can't remember it right now. Anyway, he's a young guy. Or certainly younger than I am, so he's in his 40s, I think. He lives here in Bangkok. He reached out to me before, and we kind of sat down, and we didn't kind of sat down. We did sit down in the Amazon coffee over on Nut. Please do, man. Please do. That'd be great. I should be going with, but yeah, I know, of course. It's timing, right? Timing's everything. And so what's interesting is he did this video. The reason I found him on YouTube is he did this video of the Saladang Walking Street Night Market on Sundays, which I believe used to be the third Sunday of every week. And now it is not happening. But I still like that area. Anyway, so I found that out and we connected. He's been down to Prachuap Currycon. He actually used to go to Foreigner Joe's meetups over here at True Coffees. He's a really good guy. Anyway, he did a complete rundown of how he got his not smart visa, I'm sorry, how he got his elite visa and his analysis of it and the Excel spreadsheet that he used. Okay, this is what it's going to cost me. And, you know, keep in mind, he's not retired, right? So he can't just like cruise into an embassy or a consulate in some other country and say, hey, so really I have money in the bank somewhere and here's my insurance and that sort of thing. And give me this 1-year visa. He bought a 20-year one, but the cool thing is, interestingly enough, he bought it used. I know that sounds crazy, and he bought it off of BotSold, if you know of that, BAHTSOLD.com, BotSold. And, you know, because you transfer it, basically, in the elite offices, if you will. So, and there was a, you know, an exchange of money, of course, between him and the previous guy that owned it, as well as a commission he had to pay and that sort of thing to transition over. But it was an older version, which means it could be transferred. And then I believe he put his wife on it too. Anyway, he goes through all the analysis in the video. I will try and find it, and if I do, then I know I can find it. I just can't find it right this second. I will put it in the description of this video. So if you're watching afterwards or when this is done, I mean, literally like when I'm done this morning, which is going to be in about an hour, just basically come back to this video, hit refresh, and it'll be in the description, I promise. A link to his video. It's very detailed, but if you're into the, if you're interested at all at getting any type of elite visa, I highly encourage you to watch it. He's very process and procedure and detail oriented. So for some of you that might be great. For some of you it might be a little stale. But trust me, if you are interested in the elite visa process or the elite visa and the options of each sort of version, highly encourage you to read. So anyway, that's all I'll say about it. It'll be down there later, I promise. So again, as part of this, what I'm doing is I'm making sure that, because what will happen on this laptop is it'll be great for about 15 or 20 minutes. And then when I look down, I mean, I really look down, don't I? It's too bad I can't get I will figure out a better thing for the camera, because obviously if it was on the top of the laptop, then it would be a hell of a lot easier for me to just like look up there, and it would look a lot closer that I was looking at you, because that just looks weird to me that I'm doing that. Anyway, because I want to see the comments, right? Maybe I should get a second screen up here. Maybe I should like travel with 75 pounds worth of gear, and then that way, you know what I'm considering doing actually? So AirAsia has this, if you're over here, they have this thing. If you've used AirAsia at all, you've seen the advertisements for like Tune hotels and Tune. So there's this Tune brand that they basically own, and they sell. You know, they rent cars through the Tune brand. They have hotels, Tune hotels, and then they also have Tune insurance. If you get for 500 baht, you basically get this insurance policy. Which, if you've ever gotten insurance through an airline and tried to make a claim, it's a complete pain in the neck. But for 500 baht, you get to take up to 15 kilos. This is for the first 100 people that buy it. So basically tonight at midnight Kuala Lumpur time, I'm going to buy this thing. And with any luck, I'll be within the first 100, I hope. I can't believe I wouldn't be, but we'll see. I could be, I suppose. Could not be, I suppose. 500 baht, and I get to take... hey, Stuck, good to see you, man. Thanks a lot for coming by, and thank you so much for the promotion of the likes. So with that, you know, I mean, if like your flight's delayed, you get like 1,000 baht, but you got to make a claim and it takes forever. So there's a lot of garbage that they put in there, I'm presuming, because they lack integrity, and it removes the ability for you to basically get money easily, and so therefore it doesn't have you do it much, keeping more money in their pocket. It's an insurance. It's not an insurance scam, but it's an insurance practice that, again, I think it lacks integrity, but nonetheless, it's what it is. But the 15 kilos of carry-on is what I am all about, because that's great. Because with 15 kilos, I can fit 3 to 4 days worth of clothes. I can fit the laptop, the tripod, the Logitech camera. I can even bring the mic boom with me. This microphone doesn't weigh much, but it's a little bulky. So sometimes I need like a larger backpack. The cool thing is on AirAsia, you can take up to 2 bags on board, and now they can only weigh in total 7 kilos, which is not that much. And if I can get the 15 kilo voucher, it's for every single AirAsia flight I take for the next year. So I'm probably going to buy 2 of them because I'll get it for Gracie, because at some point she's going to come over here. And again, for me to add 20 kilos just to one flight, it's 500 baht. So I'm like, okay, what's the worst thing that happens? I don't get in the first 100 or whatever, and then I get. So I'm going to try that. And I throw that out there basically for you, Dave, because if there are other people over here, absolutely, I would go for that. Additionally, if you're willing to, because the sale, if you will, ends July 29th. So, but, you know, if you're coming over here, meaning you have an elite visa and you're coming over here anyway, and you're going to be traveling in Thailand, and this 15 kilo onboard voucher is only good for AirAsia, for Thai AirAsia, so AirAsia flights here in Thailand. And so, Todd, if you're cruising over, you know, it might be kind of like an educated guess, if you will, that you might get the voucher. If you do it, again, I would recommend you do it at 12 midnight Kuala Lumpur time. So that would be 11 o'clock Bangkok time, 11 p.m., which would mean, because it's the first 100 people that sign up for the thing per day. And the day, of course, starts basically at 12:01 a.m. So anyway, with that said, it's 499 baht, right? So it might be a good gamble. At least I think it's going to be for me, because at the end of the day, if I don't get it, well, then I'll just, I'll have this insurance that I may or may not need to use. They give you like up to 10,000 baht in medical insurance, which is, I mean, for Thailand, it's not too bad. I mean, I went in, I had my ears looked at, it was 1,500 baht. So anyway, yeah, go for it, man. So the short answer is, yeah, so you can buy it right now. Yes, 11 p.m. our time. And or 11:01 p.m. our time, which of course would be midnight, just after midnight, meaning tomorrow, essentially, the next day, in Kuala Lumpur, which of course is where their headquarters are, and so that's the time that they go by. So anyway, there you go. So do let me know, guys, if this audio is good enough, or if it's really, 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 really horribly bad. I tried a couple of compression schemes, and I have a limiter on, and I have a noise reduction filter on here. And then, of course, I've got the windscreen. I've got the fan going on me, and then I have the white noise from the AC. So basically what I'm trying to simulate, quite frankly, is me and Rob hanging out at the beach in front of my hotel, just like chilling out. And this microphone, while I'm using it like right in front of my face right now, I also have another option, actually, which is the dead cat. And so what I was thinking is what I'll do is I'll probably put that between us, the chemicals between us. Quick, who did that? I played it as a current on 92.5, The Flash. San Diego's Alternative Rock. A while ago. Anyway, so I have this, which is like with a little tripod, and it's designed for me to hook to my gimbal, so that when I'm cruising around with my gimbal, then it's pointing towards me, and then I don't get the wind noise. However, what I can do is I can replace the $8 microphone with the, how much did I pay for this? I want to say maybe $30. Maybe not that much. What I can do is I can replace the $8 with the Andoer, and this is now, this microphone right now is approximately, it's less than a meter from my face, but this could potentially be how Rob and I do a live stream from down in Daniel Murphy Bush. Yeah, it's fine, not quite tinny. It's not too tinny, or it is tinny. Now that $8 microphone is definitely a little bright for sure, and so I can understand why it might sound a little tinny. I can EQ it a little bit, but not really all that much. OBS doesn't have EQ settings in the filters. It's got other things that I can do with it. I can put the compressor, but I think the noise suppression will definitely help. But for right now, again, I would basically be here, and then Rob would be probably a meter to my right, and we would both be talking into this thing. And again, I got 2 fans blowing on me with some white noise, i.e. simulating the beach. So that was the other reason that I wanted to do today's broadcast, the big broadcast. And let me actually do this. Now we can make out your words. Nothing annoying. Better now. Thank you, Brian. Appreciate it, buddy. Okay, hold on. What I'm going to do, guys, is I'm going to lower this a little bit and I'm going to give you guys the, I know you're looking at like my neck right now probably, but my goal with this is to effectively have the microphone a lot closer to the, oh boy, it's always something, isn't it, guys? A lot closer to the top of the laptop, which then presumably will allow me to, you know, kind of look at you guys a little bit more, as well as being able to see the comments. So there you go. 5x5 Hotel Mike, absolutely. Thank you very much, dude. Whiskey Tango Foxtrot. I asked Joe, I'm like, dude, so why is your email, Whiskey Tango Foxtrot Joe kind of thing at gmail.com? And he said something like, oh, I just wanted to make it, I tell everybody it's what the fish. And I'm like, what? And he goes, no, because most people don't know what the heck Whiskey Tango Foxtrot means. And I'm like, oh, okay, well, that's kind of cool. So anyway, it's just sort of entertaining to see that, because, of course, he's a military guy. And again, thank him big time for his service, right? Oh, my God. Now, again, he wasn't a soldier in the sense that he didn't fight. Okay, so that's basically about 1 inch north of the camera that's normally on the top of my laptop. So I think that's going to be good. The mic brings some echo from the room with it. It does, and that's true. And that was a bummer for me. And if you don't know, there's no way you'd know. I don't think I've shared this before. So what I do usually when I have, when I am like really going for it and I'm using the $12 microphone or the $15 microphone, what is direct, well, I'll show you right now. So what is directly in front of me is my TV and a reflective concrete wall. And then over there, pretty much the only noise that comes sort of in and out of in other words, once you're in the hallway and you walk by people's doors, you do hear what's going on sort of in their condo, potentially. And then you walk by and you don't hear it. I mean, the walls are very thick here and I love it. So what I do in the mornings before I start the show, usually with the mighty $10 microphone, is I have two comforters that I got from IKEA, and I drapes one of them over the big screen TV, and then I have like one of those stands that you'll see in like studios, camera studios, that sort of thing, and it will. And then what I do is I'm effectively hanging another comforter in front of the wall. And so that takes a lot of the echo out of the room, believe it or not. Now, I could do the show from my bedroom because, of course, there's this giant noise suppression device right in the middle of the room. We call them king-size beds. And that, that would potentially get rid of some of it. But thank you for that. I really appreciate it. What I'm guessing is once I do outdoors, that will certainly go away. So with that, that'll be kind of cool. And again, I'm pretty far away from this. As you guys know, I usually like to be like right up on the thing. And so it's sort of odd to be this way. There's a part of me that I would argue I'm probably going to yell. Because again, I don't have headphones on. So I'm not listening to what I'm saying as I'm saying it, which of course is the DJ's curse. When you can't hear what you're saying, that sort of thing, usually in production, meaning you're basically listening to the off-air signal, so you're listening to how you're processed and all the music and that sort of thing. And that's essentially impossible to do, because if you were to listen to yourself live, there's a 10 to 15 second delay with all this technology. But anyway, so the cool thing is that I've got some pretty good options, and it didn't cost me a whole lot of money, because I have no expectation that some awesome dude, not that you guys aren't awesome, but that some awesome random dude named Kenneth will come over, and over the course of a 4-hour live stream, he'll basically give me $86 US, right? I mean, that was just amazing. It blew me away. And what was funny is Aztec, right? He made a comment but didn't make a donation, right? Aztec's like, hey, you forgot to give money. I'm like, no, it's not a requirement, I swear. So anyway. I do like the clarity of this camera, this Logitech camera, and I think the camera was only like $30 or $40, so that's pretty cool. It's kind of fun when I can do this like for a low amount of money. Now, to be fair, again, I've been doing this for a while, and so when I think back to the amount of money that I had to spend initially, actually, just to do streaming of music on my first internet radio station when I was in San Diego, I believe Big Eye Radio started in 1999, and so I had like 2 computers hooked together with coax, And then one of them was the encoder, the other one was the music player. And then on the encoder, I had a modem. And I believe I was all excited because I got to be able to dial up at 56.6, right? And then that's how I started streaming, basically, at first. And I think I was streaming with pretty decent quality audio. Anyway, it was just really fun, but it did cost quite a bit of money. Like, I had to have two machines. They had to be pretty powerful. So they were each like $2,000. And you know, of course, my connection to the ISP that was dial-up was probably at least $30 a month. You know, and now I've got, you know, fiber into my condo, and I'm connected via Wi-Fi right now. And that's $6.83 a month. Now, I'm in Bangkok, so it's a little bit different, right? But the riddle says, I think the electric mics are too sensitive, and that will cause the echo from the room. Agreed. And so that's a little bit of a bummer. I like condenser mics, obviously. I love them when they're not, the requirement isn't to have phantom power. Because then if it's got phantom power, then I need to travel with this mixer. This is pretty much the smallest footprint mixer I could find that's got really, really good preamps that have a very low noise floor. This is the Behringer 302. And it's got the Henix mic process, or the mic preamps, right? So that's pretty sweet. I do wish it had two mic inputs and not a line input, because if you think about it, it's like this has got tip ring sleeve in the center as well as XLR. So you could always go XLR to RCA if you had to. And so it really kind of bothers me that they put a second input with a line, but I get it. They got finite footprint, and this is probably, yeah, we've been making mixers for a while, Mike. This is more what people want. I also use this effectively. It's a D to A converter, so basically it takes everything in there and then it goes in and out via USB. I think it sounds really great. The other nice thing too is that yes, I can do XLR microphone as well as tip ring sleeve microphone, but I can also do microphone in with 3.5 millimeter. So that's pretty cool. And the headphone amp in it is really decent. It's really powerful, and it doesn't overmod a whole lot. So, but again, you know, right now I'm at the point where unless I get this awesome voucher for 15 kilos on the plane, I'm trying to limit my travel bag, which includes all this gear, to 7 kilos, and it's kind of a challenge, you know, to keep it under like 15 pounds. So anyway, I'm almost at the point where it's like, okay, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to bring all my gear with me, and then like maybe a couple pairs of underwear, and then the minute I get there, I'm just going to go to Jongsalon Mall down in Patong, and get myself a whole bunch of clothes that I'm going to wear that week, and then I'll just throw them away before I get on the plane. Or, I mean, I guess I could give him to Rob if he wanted to, you know, I mean, he's a little bit smaller than I am. But I think he's probably like a medium or a large, and I'm usually an extra large, sometimes double extra large, depending on the manufacturers. So anyway. Caesar asks, what does it take to go to, and I apologize, I'm missing that, so let me make sure I see that, because I think that was a fairly good question, relative to Phuket. So what does it take to go fishing down at Phuket? So at the end of the day, you can hire a boat, you can hire a longtail boat. There is a yacht club in Phuket. I mean, it's a big island, right? So you can go over there and you can get like, you know, like a sport fishing sort of day trip sort of thing. That's expensive. But you know what I don't know is I don't know the quality of the fishing rods that they would give you. So that's sort of, you know, interesting. Adam says, hey, Mike, for the format, it sounds great. The world had become far more forgiving about technical quality if the content is essential. So thank you. I hope the content is good. Meaning that the content is essential, Mike. So anyway, I hope I add value via the content. But by the same token, I also realize that even if the content is awesome, you could potentially be distracted by the low quality. So, and thank you for the thumbs up, Riddle. I appreciate it. Not a challenge. It's damn near impossible. Laughed my ass off. Yeah. So okay. So Brian said something which I guess clearly is inappropriate. Stop screwing around. Egg crate the goddamn condo. Yeah, I'm with you, dude. Let me show that because he's funny. I'm with you. And literally one of the first things they made sure I knew of when I moved in here is that I cannot put anything on the walls. So what I did is I got a bunch of cardboard. I do have the infamous egg crates. I actually do have soundproofing, the wedges and stuff. I have 1 foot by 1 foot, basically sound wedges. And I'm going to put that on a piece of cardboard because I wanted to hang that in front of the door. So anyway, the whole screwing around thing. The other neat thing about it, Brian, is that because I don't really want to design my condo to be a radio studio, I mean, eventually Gracie is going to live here, so it's not just going to be Mike's condo / radio station. So that's why I want to outsource it and actually get into a radio station studio. So that would be, I think, a lot better. It would be a really cool environment. I could have multiple cameras, and then I could potentially have guests come in on physically, which would be neat. The more guys that get over here, Todd's going to be over here with his girlfriend, and so they could come in. And then as you guys start coming over here, Brian obviously gets here, and before he gets up to Chiang Mai, we could hang out and do a show. So that's what I'm really sort of focusing on. If I soundproof the whole condo, it'll just make me lazier to stay here on the couch. And so I do some manipulative things even to myself to try and prevent stuff like that. But is it crowded in Phuket? The short answer is absolutely not. Damo, good to see you, buddy. Hey, man, thanks again for your donation yesterday. I really appreciate that. I didn't get a chance to thank. I hope I thank everybody before we ended. But as I looked at because it takes 24 hours for it to really total up inside of YouTube. And so as I was looking, I don't believe I thanked Joseph, and I don't believe I thanked Damo. So those guys gave substantial donations too, which is really cool. So here's the thing too, Max. Type in Serena, 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 Thailand, and she's simply this lady that's down, lady boy, but she looks like a girl pretty much. But she's down in Phuket, and to Caesar's point, recently here on the chat. She recently put out 2 videos that doesn't have her in it really at all. It's just a whole bunch of pan, and she goes through all the different beaches that are in, or at least all of the beaches that the majority of the people know about in Phuket. So there's Patong, of course, but then there's Kamala and Kata, and then a couple others. And she does some great shots. There's 2 of those videos that I think are more of her recent ones. Anyway, her most recent one is absolutely about all the beaches, and I share that with you because as you look at those beaches, you'll note that there is nobody on them. So anyway, now Daniel says your voice is heavy treble and very little bass with this microphone. I realize that, yeah, and I tried to, again, it's not a studio mic, so I'm kind of willing to accept that. As you might guess, I'm not a fan. I prefer warm mids, and so the lows being yanked off are a little bit of a bummer. But what I'm thinking is that this will be good enough, at least, for Rob and I to basically hang out and talk. Now, that said, I can go back to the other one, and you guys can tell me sort of well, this is the A-B difference, Mike. And this microphone, too, can basically pick up both Rob and I. So I could try that for sure and see if this is equally as adding value. Adam says, have you considered making the audio available for download as a podcast? I absolutely have. And in fact, this morning I was on BuzzFeed, I think is the name of the website. And they, help for hosting and everything. And they're like, yeah, for free, go for it. Just try it. Upload 2 hours. I'm like, 2 hours? What do you think? I did a podcast while I was asleep? I'm going to switch microphones. Stand by. And so this one I know will probably give a little bit more lows. This one's pretty bright though. I mean, obviously the other one, and again, you got to remember that the dead cat is made for you to put on a mobile device, basically. So you're walking around. So again, you're not going to get really right up on it like I normally would. Like you guys know, I like to talk as if I'm in a studio because it's just sort of my default setting. And then I've tweaked this microphone a little bit too. I changed the insides of it somehow. So. Patrick says, is the book you co-authored relevant for people who haven't experienced, stand by, I apologize, addiction? I believe it is. I would submit to you that if you were to sort of, I mean, again, I talk about cocaine, and I know that that's not like, hey, I'm an alcoholic, and I'm kind of people okay, I know about alcoholics. A lot of time people hear cocaine, they're like, okay, dude, you're really screwed up. And then some of them will even default to, oh my God, did you use needles? No, I didn't use needles. I didn't smoke crack, but I didn't really like cocaine, but I loved the smell of it. And so anyway, so that's sort of, the first sentence in my story is basically me saying I ran out of cocaine May 26, 1992, and then I go on with it. And again, I'm writing a story, right? So there's sort of like ways that you write stories, and one of the things that a lot of people talk about in stories is like you got to grab someone by the throat. That's this little saying that a lot of people will say. The minute you're telling a story, you got to grab them by the throat, and you got to get them to say, well, wait a minute, I want to read the second sentence and the third sentence. So there's a little bit of that Hollywoodness into it. That said, I will tell you that I never need to sell or give away that story to anyone, and I could literally die tomorrow and know that I have absolutely added value without question 100% on this earth and be really, really proud of it. Oh, got to run for a little bit, Brian, but if you have a marathon going back in a bit, awesome seeing all you guys. Thanks a lot, Brian. I appreciate you coming by. It's always good to see it. And here's the reason why I believe that I've definitely added value. Woo, that smell, baby. Where can you get the book? Never knew you wrote a book. Yeah, so thanks, Demo. I'll share that in the comments below, too. The book is called Defining Moments of Courage. And if you go to, you guys know what bit.ly links are, right? bit.ly. If you go to bit.ly/defining courage, you will go to the link on Amazon, basically, where it hit number 1 July 8th, I believe, maybe it was July 10th of 2012. So it hit number 1 on Amazon briefly. That's the way Amazon blitzes work. And correct, yeah. So if you're going to read the whole book, that's very true, Daniel. That the majority of the people, in fact, I don't know if anyone else that wrote a story in there if experienced addiction. Maybe they did. I can't remember. Again, so let me get back to what I was saying. When the book had been out about a year and a half, and at that point, your sales are just, they're zero, right? I get in the back of my story is my email address, and I'm like, look, if you want to talk or do anything, just shoot me an email. I can't wait to talk to you guys. It's going to be awesome. If there's anything I can do to help you, please let me know. So I get an email from this girl, and she says, hi, so I'm in high school, and I don't really know how I got your book. Like, it either showed up on my desk, or one of my girlfriends gave it to me, or whatever, I don't know. And I just read your story, and I wanted to commit suicide, and now I don't. And I'm like, oh, okay. I'm good. I'm done, dude. I did. The rest of my life is an absolute gift, ridiculous gift, because I just help one person. Because you think it's a silly little thing you'd put on a t-shirt, but dude, seriously, I can tell you right now that if anyone ever says, all I want to do is help one person and my life is complete, I've done that. And to be fair, I also believe that I've assisted others along the way too. But this was so gargantuan, The neat thing too is that she actually lived in San Diego. She lived over in Chula Vista. And so when my girlfriend at the time, Sherry, was down, we actually went over and met her and we had coffee with her or whatever. And she was really timid and she had an imperfect home life, which was, the divorce, living in a really small apartment, and, she was going to school, and, the bullying, all that nonsense that went off in her head that said, well, maybe the best solution is to, and gratefully, for whatever reason, something in her mind said, well, maybe the best solution right now is to read this silly book that someone gave to me for free. So, the title of my story is called Surrender, Succeed, Win. And while the word surrender, one could argue, is common in people's lives who have recovered or are recovering from addiction, the succeed win part, I think that's pretty much a desire for a lot of people. And, so it's bit.ly, /defining courage. Seriously cool. Congrats. Thanks, Adam. Now, here's the other thing, too, is that if you want just my story, I'm helping 18 people right now. Thanks, Patrick. Dude, right on. High five, chest bump, my friend. You're cool. I appreciate that. If you want just my story, shoot me an email. Look, I make no money on this book, and I have no desire to make. Thank you very much, Damo. I really appreciate it. If you want just my story, I can email you the PDF. Just send me an email to livemyassoff@gmail.com. I'll totally give that to you. If you care to make a donation, I think I have it up on buymeasmoothie.com, which is basically, I like buymeasmoothie.com, which if you don't know, just simply redirects to buymeacoffee.com. And but if you absolutely did, if you go there, then you have the ability to, buy me a smoothie, right? So it's like you can just donate $5 or whatever if you just want to do that. And I like this one a little bit better than Patreon. Patreon, I didn't particularly like the systems that they had set up. Additionally, what I wanted to be able to do, because several of you have asked for it, and many people have made appointments in my calendar. This is like several months ago that kind of died off now. If you wanted to have like a one-on-one conversation. And in fact, as I was reviewing my stream from yesterday, when someone said, hey, wouldn't it be great if Mike did Skype calls, and I thought they meant I should use the Skype software to do my live streams. And I just realized I completely forgot my light bar. So I mean, I'm like one of those, when you see like James Bond and his beautiful girl, like they go to and she's got like the half mask that's white. I'm basically doing that. I'm basically the Phantom of the Opera right now. I'm the closest thing you will ever get to Phantom of the Opera because I got the whole. So anyway, if you want it, livemyassoff@gmail.com or buymeasmoothie.com. That will also give you the opportunity to do one of those Skype calls if you'd like. It's only $35, and it's an hour, basically. I mean, if we go over an hour and 15 minutes, I'm not going to ding your credit card. I'm not going to invoice you like an attorney, which is okay. I think attorneys, the way they invoice is fine, especially because, no one really goes to an attorney to get your next new best friend. You usually go there for potentially something you're really desperate to get rid of, like out of your life, and or you need someone to basically be the brunt of all of the negativity in your life. You need to outsource to that person. So the fact that they charge every 15 minutes, that's fine. I think it's a good motivator to be like short and concise and not tell them all your emotional baggage. Does Buy Me a Smoothie take less fees than PayPal? That's a great question, Patrick. I actually don't know the answer to that question. Here's why. If I go to my dashboard, it tells me how much people have donated, which for yesterday was Joseph was the first one to buy me a smoothie, which I really appreciated. And it just says $5. So I don't know the fees that it's going to take. PayPal fees are going up and have gone up, I believe, as of July this month, but it's not excessive, and it's certainly not a super chat. Okay, so anyway, and I gave the wrong PayPal address yesterday, by the way. My PayPal address is paypal.me/Amazing LLC. My consulting company in the United States is Amazing LLC, and so anyway, paypal.me. But again, all of these links, guys, are in the description. So if you want to go down there and do, actually, I don't know if the defining courage link is in there. So again, Damo, thank you very much for that. Daniel says the majority of people don't make it. Yeah, you know what? Here's the thing. I also hear people give statistics. Well, AA is only, 25%. And here's my experience. 100% of all of my friends that I've met in 12-step programs are successful. And I'm not saying that to be my friend, there is a requirement of sobriety, okay? But I can tell you that the people that I'm attracted to, that basically are in my sphere, simply because we share the same desire to be wildly successful in a number of areas, not the least of which is sobriety, we've all stayed clean. Like, all of my friends have 20... I mean, they all have pretty much over 20 years sober. And, many of them I met in 1992, and we just kept going. There was a buddy of mine that pinged me this morning, one of the first guys on the chat this morning. And I met him when I had 2 years. He's got 26 years sober, And so, look, there's also a low percentage of people that start out freshman year in electrical engineering that go all the way through the 5 years commitment that is necessary for a bachelor's degree. And believe it or not, like at UMass, at least when I went, there was Engineering 101. And a lot of the reasons why there was that class, admittedly by the professors, is to weed out the people that aren't willing to do the work. Because I can tell you right now that the amount of calculus you have to do to get a Bachelor of Science in Electrical Engineering is a lot. And if you have the fantasy that you're going to meet a pretty girl in that degree, I'm just saying the numbers don't really pan out that way. They might now because there's a lot more Asians in it, so that might be a great way to meet an Asian woman, trying to get a bachelor's in electrical engineering. But the prospects were slim, at least when I was there. Secondly, I'm not going to have time. There is no time. I mean, because the regular degree takes 5 years. I was drinking a little bit, so I had to literally repeat an entire year, 2 semesters worth of classes. Actually, more than that. And I had to get almost straight A's so that they would cancel out my straight F's so that I could leave with a C average. That was humbling. But nonetheless, there are imperfections. Hey, honey, what's going on? I'm stoked that you came by. So here's the other thing, too. I was talking with Gracie. Todd says, I was able to change my job like that, being the only surveyor on the TBM, and 3 shifts every time they called me, they were on the clock. Yeah, I get it. I totally get it, man. And so anyway, I will find out about the fees. In fact, you know what I'll do is I'll find out the fees of PayPal and Buy Me a Smoothie and all that sort of thing. And I'll put those in the description from now on, right? How I give the links. Again, I believe 30% is the default sort of number that a lot of us will use for Super Chats. But anyway, Gracie in the house. Absolutely, Patrick. Yeah. So anyway, so I was talking with her, and she mentioned yesterday she did say, she's a little shy. But again, people that haven't been in radio since they're 14 are shy. Everyone that's the default. There's very few people that never got into public speaking, never got that at 29 years old, the first time they're given a microphone and they're shoved out on a stage with at least 500 people in front of you, they're like, oh, I got this. I've been prepping for this for the last 40 years in my mind. This is going to be easy. It doesn't work that way. So I get it. There's in other words, Gracie and I could talk while we're hanging out, while we're walking to the beach, as long as the microphone isn't in front of my face and I'm doing a video, then, she and I are talking. And, we talk about many things, and it's lovely, awesome, and I miss her like crazy. But, a lot of times when the camera shows up, right, people get a little bit of sort of stage fright, if you will. So anyway, she did mention that, but the other thing that she mentioned that's actually pretty important, and I really, she has a lot of integrity, but I'll give you an example of why I say that, is she's like, well, every second counts was the label that she gave, because during the day, she's at the shop, and if someone at a market walks by your table, and you're on your phone going, yeah, I can't wait to come see you, babe. And then they're going to be like, okay, well, whatever. It's not like I can't buy these shoes elsewhere, kind of thing, or I can't buy this. I mean, again, the good news for Gracie is that where she's at, she's very aware of the stock she needs to hold based on the time of year, right? So there's the back to school stuff and that sort of thing. So she's laser focused on getting stock that's going to move, right? So anyway, but the point is that it was a very clear, it was a very accurate statement, which is I can be on your silly little live chat, Mike, but at the end of the day, I'm here to move product, right? I'm in the market, and if it's busy, then I need to be. And I was like, I totally get it. So again, and additionally today she doesn't have Wi-Fi. So usually they have Wi-Fi in the market. She says it wasn't available yesterday. It could have been because of the rain, but who knows? But regardless, that's one of the reasons, because I wanted to bring that up, because I know you guys have asked about her being on the live stream, which I would friggin' love, provided that she's right, provided that she's also sharing this, microphone with me, kind of thing. And but again, that's the future, and I know it's going to occur. It's not just some fantasy that maybe someday I'm going to meet a beautiful girl named Gracie. No. I mean, we're doing this forever, and so right now it's just an inconvenient bump, quite frankly. And she also has not been, we have also not been together for several months at a time like this too, which also was lame then. But we did that when, she would be in the Philippines and I would be basically working in San Diego, and it just wasn't good. It wasn't convenient, or she had to do something. But then she started coming back more regularly and we planned around it. Anyway. How sweet. Gracie sent me a message. Good for you, Stuck. Right on, dude. Oh, she's awesome, buddy. I'm telling you, yeah. To some sponsorship with newcomers, you'll see some unsuccess stories. Well, I'll tell you this. People that don't go to meetings don't see what happens to people who don't go to meetings. And so I would encourage anybody, Daniel, to get their ass to a meeting, because people ask me, oh my God, how'd you stay sober for 28 years? I'm like, I went to a meeting every single day for the first 5 years because I drank and used every single day before that. And so therefore, I figured if I missed a meeting, I didn't know what day I was going to drink and use again. So I went to a meeting every single day just to make sure I didn't drink and use again. That's my story. You don't need to follow the path I followed. But I'm just letting you know that when people ask me, oh my God, how'd you get 28 years? Started with a ridiculously solid foundation because I was rendered sufficiently desperate to basically do anything. And the good news is that the anything basically involved me surrounding myself with people that were wildly successful. So anyway, good morning, Mariano. Good to see you, man. Right before 4 a.m. Oh my God, dude. I'm so stoked you came by. Aloha from Germany, man. Thanks so much. Soon like she will be. I get it, Todd. I totally get it. And same with you, right? Same with you. And you said, I think, well, I can scroll back up, but I think it's going to be like about a month before you get the approval for your visa. You know, interestingly enough, one of the things that you mentioned is that, and that you're not in Thailand right now, I believe that you mentioned for that. And just so you know, again, that video that I'm going to share with you guys at the bottom about my friend here who lives in Bangkok, who actually basically bought his, everyone buys it, but he bought it and then transferred it into his name. His elite visa, he's here. He's lived in Bangkok for years, and he's been here on various different visas and long-term visas. He's married. And his wife is Thai, so he might have been over here on a marriage visa. I can't remember, but anyway. Guten Morgen, Mariano, alias Gut in Deutschland. Deutschland. Is it Deutschland or Deutschland? Deutschland. Is it more of a, like less of an OI and more of a Deutschland? I used to love, when I was younger, a lot of people thought they were really cool. They would get these stickers. They were these sort of oval stickers with a black circle around it and a single letter usually in the center. And it was supposed to symbolize the country that you came from. So there would be D for Germany, right, for Deutschland. So anyway. Daniel says, Mariano, if you're aware of the Forbes magazine rated 5 German cities as having the best quality of life out of the top 50 in the world. Dude, that's totally awesome. COVID-19 Mike online meetings only in Arizona. This is my online meeting. Oh, awesome, buddy. Glad you're here. Yeah, I know that sucks, right? I mean, you can't do the face-to-face. Hello, Mr. Mitch. It's more oi. Okay, Deutschland. Got it. Yeah, the dude from Elite told me they check if you are blacklisted and not in Thailand. Interesting. Okay, well, hey, maybe they changed. I don't know. Don't forget me, Mr. Mitch. And don't forget to hit that like button, right, Stuck? Okay, we're at 8:48. You guys got to remind me when it gets to be like 9 o'clock because I absolutely want to end this, and then I'm going to pack all this stuff up, and then I'm going to weigh it, and then I'm going to hop over to Jeremy's live stream over at Do More Life. I believe he's starting at like 9:15. Yeah, you're in good company, man. But that's great, dude. I'm really glad that you're Daniel, I'm really glad that you're seeking out those solutions. There's the cute little phrases in the program, right? There's meeting makers make it, or whatever. But again, the interaction with other people that have done it. And again, I really hope I answered the question appropriately, which is, Mike, are we going to get anything out of your story if we've never suffered from addiction? And I would submit to you that, again, maybe the whole book, maybe other stories will resonate more with you. But I believe that my story is one of hope, because it was a defining moment in my life where I'm like, okay, I weigh 130 pounds, I crawl around on the ground, naked, sweating, talking to bugs, and I don't want to. So I'm going to make a change right friggin' now, or I'm going to die. And so, it wasn't like, I think I might get the large Coke. I tell you what, give me the medium Coke. No, I'll get the large Coke. No, it was a little bit more acute than that. Good to see you, Jeremy. Right on, man. Oh, dat, baby. One day at a time. And I'll tell you right now, for me, guys, sometimes it was 1 minute at a time. I found out that a craving lasts 7 minutes. There were times in my early sobriety where I would literally, because we get like tokens, right? So you get these little, usually they're plastic. Annually, usually they're metal. Like my 28-year token is somewhere around here. And a lot of times you'll wear it on your keychain. But, when you get 30 days, if you've never been clean and sober in your life, and you get 30 days sober, you're like, dude, this is epic. I mean, I cried every time I took a token for like the first couple of years. I was so amazingly grateful. Anyway, so I had like and there were times where I would be clenching that token, and I would count to 420. Because 7 minutes times 60 seconds, I figured, okay, if I can count to 420 and not drink right now, I've made it through 7 minutes. I've made it through the craving. I can handle the rest of the day or the hour. So a lot of times it's 1 hour at a time. Sometimes, I don't know if it's 1 minute at a time, but it certainly is one craving at a time. So, and Daniel asked Mariano, do you know where a balm holder is? I don't know where that is. Hey, Stuck. Good to see you. That's so cool. And again, I mean, Jeremy's got a very similar paradigm in his life, in the sense that he's got a family over at his YouTube channel. So the whole, like banter back and forth and saying hi. Oh, look at that, guys. 100 chat messages. Boom. I blame you for my success. The book is not available to be shipped to Australia. Let me know any more options for shipping. So the short answer, Damo, is shoot me an email. Ask me that so I have it basically in my queue of things to do. I can certainly email you back my story. I don't know if I have the entire book in PDF, but I probably do somewhere, so I can send it to you that way. So did a lot of artillery in balm holder. So anyway, so I'm sorry about that it's not available to be shipped to Australia. Yeah, it's probably only in the, what do you call them, fulfillment centers in the United States. And shipping it to Australia would be silly. I mean, you'd probably pay, I'm sure you could get a used book on Amazon for probably like, $5 or $10, and you pay like $40 shipping. So anyway, the thing that bothers me, the only thing that bothered me about that entire process is for whatever reason, the publisher would not make it available in Kindle. And I'm like, are you is your last name Gutenberg? Like, what the hell? You're seriously going to go with an Amazon Blitz and make us a #1 selling best book on Amazon for at least one day, which is what they call an Amazon Blitz, and you're not going to make it available via Kindle? I'm like, you're morons, And so lost interest in that publisher very quick. So anyway, good. I can't find the 15 kilogram deal. Dude, if you just go to airasia.com, like it literally is one, I believe, of the 2 scrolling banners at the top of the screen. One of them, I think, just even says, hey, just like, fly in Thailand or something like that. But if you just go to airasia.com, it should be right on the homepage. And if it's not, well, then obviously they entered yeah, there you go, see? Yeah, it's just one of the 2. Anyway, and then just click on the banner. But again, if you just want to do the insurance, that's fine. But they're pretty clear that they're only giving it to the first 100 people every day that buy the thing. So therefore, I'm hedging my bets, and I'm going to make sure it's like 12:01 a.m. So that I get at least in line. Now again, they also say it's like they're going to email it to you later on. So at the end of the day, I believe that AirAsia has really good mechanics, decent new planes, and competent pilots. Everyone else that works for the organization, as far as I'm concerned, has zero integrity. Because their customer service is offensive, and their ability to take your money eclipses their ability to ever let you change anything or possibly give you your money back. Their default setting is to come up with excuses, not be clear up front. They bury things in the fine print just to make sure that they legally have the ability to say, no, we're keeping your money, even though we advertised like crazy that we promised we wouldn't, and we're really cool. And look at our cute flight attendants in our red suits all over the billboards. But for the most part, they just don't have any integrity. So therefore, I have that expectation. So I try and jockey my behavior based on, what they're probably going to respond with. So anyway, but that's just my opinion. The other thing, too, is that I believe the guy that was sort of the leader of the whole initiative, I believe he had good intentions, but unfortunately the world judges you on your behavior when you probably wish they would judge you on your intentions. And my judgment of him is that he cares infinitely more about himself first, I believe then, secondly, he cares about his top-line revenue. Third, he probably cares about his board of directors. Fourth, he cares about his employees. And then fifth, he probably cares about his customers. And I do not believe that is the correct order at all for a successful company long-term. You can be wildly successful initially if your name is Bertie Madoff. You just got to stop early, and he didn't stop, right? And pyramid schemes were great in the beginning because everyone's just dumping money, and the smart guy runs a pyramid scheme, and the minute he's got like 1/10 of what he fantasizes about, he leaves, changes his name, takes the money, puts it in a briefcase, goes to some deserted island, and leaves everybody, But no, everyone gets greedy is a complete liar, and then they're like, no, I'm just going to hold off for a little bit more. I'm going to hold off for a little bit more, and then they give everyone the excuses, and then they eventually get caught. The baggage scale is a bold ripoff. You think so, Matt? Let me make sure I didn't miss anything. I'm not disagreeing with that, but I can tell you right now, for me, it's worth the gamble, because if I do, in fact, get to be one of the first 100 people and it only costs me 500 baht, then it's pretty worth it. If for 500 baht I get like this ridiculous insurance that's essentially useless for the next year, again, it's worth for me to try and do it, because again, just to add one bag for 20 kilos is 500 baht. So why not, right? And at the end of the day, it's a possibility for sure. Todd says, AirAsia worked for me. Once I flew to Cambodia, I needed to change my flight back to Thailand, and they did good. That's cool. Now, again, to be fair, I have clear expectations. Like, that has not been my expectation. Many times, however, I have, been an adult and I bought the correct stuff. Like, if I want legroom, I'm not sitting in regular seats in AirAsia. AirAsia's seats are designed for Asians, not for 6'2" bald guys with long legs. And so I sit in the emergency exit row. That cost me more money, but it cost me infinitely more money than the same emergency exit row seat does, like in a US flight. So as far as I'm concerned, it's really not that much. At the end of the day, given the amount of money that you have, or the amount of money that you need to give them to basically get from point A to point B on effectively a brand new plane that is well maintained with a pilot that is totally competent. The other thing I really like about them, they hire female pilots, and that is awesome, as does Southwest Airlines. Every airline hires some. Those two airlines that I know of hire more than normal. So like, hey, MA, good to see you. Aloha to you. Mahalo for coming by. I drank frequently in Germany too. Well, yes, but that's something that you do. 5-minute warning, Daniel. Thank you very much. The short time I was there, I loved actively drinking in time to deploy downrange former Yugoslavia. Yeah, it was a different time, man. Absolutely, I totally get that. So anyway, I want to make sure I didn't miss any. Oh, Mr. Mitch says, no, I was in 10th chemical attached to the 8th ordnance, so I didn't get that. But the baggage scale is a bold ripoff. Yeah, I get it. But, here's the thing, is I understand what they're trying to do. They're trying to generate revenue, okay? That's the number one thing. But the second thing is that indeed they do need to know, like, basically what the weight is going to be. And especially now where there's not a lot of people flying, they really need to be conscious of weight distribution. So I can really appreciate that technical need and aspect of it. So there we are. Demo, female drivers, female pilots. Are you sure you want that? What's that one? There's that one scene in Family Guy where Peter's like having it, and he goes, Lois, stop. Men are talking. It's just so ridiculous. He's the Archie Bunker, right, of our time. Oh, Jesus, Edith, Jefferson's coming over. Hide the silverware there. It's just so ridiculous, like the statements he used to make, right? And that was the funny part about it. The problem is, I think a lot of people listened to him and went like, yeah, he's probably right. Yeah, definitely black people are going to steal silverware. Women shouldn't talk. They shouldn't vote. They shouldn't be able to. I'm like, my God. People that believe that are just so ridiculous, And I got to tell you right now, too, the lack of women in IT really, it wasn't until I started hiring women for like the IT team that I was like, oh my God, this widens our ability to be more successful more than I ever thought. I just figured, okay, there'd be some interaction, and at least with one woman in the room, then the guys won't, talk like in their friggin' locker room. They won't drop F-bombs every time we're on a Zoom call with a manufacturer kind of thing. Like, okay, get them a little bit more appropriate. But no, man, it was so much more than that. So much more than that. It was so great. So I bet we see a gratitude attack video from Phuket. I drop everything to watch those. Probably. I will give you, you guys probably know this. I'll let you in on a little secret without divulging too much, but Rob has a very similar attitude and appreciation for all that he gets to do in life. His reaction isn't necessarily the same as mine, but we also, I believe, we have some degree of estrogen in our body, maybe, that allows the eyes to start spinning at times when our level of gratitude is ridiculous. I am more visible at that than he is, for sure. Rob has a little bit more composure when it comes to showing his gratitude. But anyway, I just looked down right now, you guys, and on the note of the gratitude attack, Patrick, thank you so much for that. I guarantee you there will be one. I'm not sure whether I'll do a live stream about gratitude attack. I don't know if I'll definitely have one. It's pretty likely, though. So I'm pretty confident that I'll have one, and it'll probably occur while I'm walking on the beach. And maybe it'll be on the beaches in a row at the rate that Serena gave her videos of each one. So Patong, Kamala, that sort of thing. So anyway, but with that, I will thank you guys very much for being part of my beta test group. And indeed, 9 a.m. in Bangkok. Thank you for letting me know what this sounds like, letting me know what this sounds like, and sticking around for the big broadcast. And letting me use my $170 laptop and my $40 camera, and hopefully that will be the ultimate mobile broadcast studio that we all get to hang out with when I force Rob to basically stay awake during the morning, and we do our epic marathon live stream from Phuket. And with that, it's Mike's from LiveMyAssOff.com saying, I hope you guys are living the dream, because if you're not living the dream, then there's a high likelihood that you don't hang out with Patrick and get him to be like, dude, get grateful right now, because it's time for a gratitude attack because you're at the beach and you're living the dream. I'll talk to you guys soon. Peace.